Welcome everyone. I'm Cornelia and this is my friend Javier, and we're part of the teaching team at NCMC.
Today we're going to be talking about community, sangha, and belonging. What is important and what does it mean to us? So, what do you think? What does it mean to you?
I think belonging is important on so many levels, and it's deeply rooted in our biology. I think it's essential, in fact, for our well-being. Think about early humans. When we started out, we would never have survived if we weren't connected to one another, and we didn't involve these big brains that enabled us to have social connection. So I think belonging is really inherent to our survival. It's deeply a part of who we are and what we need. And I think that's what we really wanted for NCMC from the very beginning. A place for community, to grow out of community, where people could be a part, where people could belong.
That's exactly what NCMC means to me, because I remember when I first came around and I started looking for meditation groups, and I kept searching every day. Every day I would be searching for a meditation group in my area, and Newark and the surrounding areas never had a group. So I would have to travel to Morristown, to where my teacher lives. He guided two groups a week, but it's 45 minutes away. And for people that doesn't have ways or means to travel, it's hard. So I remember the day that I found NCMC. I was so excited and so nervous because it was so good. It was so good that it was like, I don't think that I got the requirements. They maybe asked for things that I might not, I don't know if I'm gonna be approved. That's how deep I needed it. And I remember emailing and asking like, how much is it, or what do I need to be part of it? And the email says you don't need nothing. All you need to do is show up.
Just come. Wow.
Yeah, it was amazing. I remember Marcy bringing the cushions on her car down in Lincoln Park every week. Yeah.
And now look at your Tuesday group.
Yes.
They've started to have a home, a place where they can come and not feel judged, right?
Yes.
Because you've opened the door and you've welcomed that all. That space becomes sacred. You know, I remember hearing somewhere, and I don't quite remember where, but the greatest kindness you can do for another person is to remove your own ideas about them. Take away your ideas about them and let them simply be who they are. And that's just, you know, that's really powerful. And that idea of coming home somewhere reminds me of Thich Nhat Hanh, and that his quote, "I have arrived, I am home." Yeah. And I think there was another one that Tara Brach used to quote. Do you remember what that was? Something about a bumper sticker.
Yeah, her favorite bumper sticker says, if you live in your heart, you'll be home today. You'll be home now.
Yeah. And I think that's really the essence of it, of belonging. It's really this deep longing that we all have to belong, right? Something that we are searching for, and we try to find our way. And as we grow spiritually, we start to understand that our home is here.
That's right.
That it's inside, that it's not from the outside. I mean, of course, it's harder in the current situation, in this divisive world that we live in, where there's so much painful othering of different groups, that it's really hard to put that aside, because we're soaking it in every day, you know, in the world. And we've been pulled out of belonging. Our culture emphasizes self over everything else, when it's really not so. It's about interconnection. right?
Yes.
It's about interbeing, pulling together what might seem disparate or different. And that was really the point of establishing NCMC. When we started this, we researched and we knew that there was nothing in Newark to hold this kind of space. So we came and we sat. And slowly but slowly and very organically, this beautiful, diverse, supportive community grew. And I mean, you can just look at some of the earlier, I think there might have been some talks and some slideshows about the different places that we've taught in Newark and the different programs. There's a lot of diversity. There's something for everybody.
That's right.
And we want to keep offering for the community in the ways that are essential to its own organic growth. You know, it just takes time. It takes time. But something like this and sharing our space and what we have to offer, especially today, is a way of welcoming the greater community in. And we want to allow people to make their connections with meditation in a way that honors spirit and that honors culture and that doesn't say, to belong, you have to remove a part of yourself. It's not that. It's a place where you can feel safe, like your Tuesday group.
Yeah. It's gone over 2 years.
Wow. And I think as we sit in group and as we learn together and we share together, we open our hearts together, we all grow into our best selves. I think you probably have seen that.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes. Yes. I have seen in our group different situations. I have seen one particular situation was this lady that was like skeptical about meditation because she felt that she was betraying her religious roots. And she talked to me and she said, I want to meditate, but I feel like I'm betraying my religion, like this is not right. And I explained to her that meditation only gonna enhance her religion. Like my teacher told me, when I first started meditating, don't leave your religion. This is your religion. This is gonna help you. This is gonna enhance your religion. You don't have to leave nothing. And what I saw was that she became more deeper, more connected, and even stronger in her own religion. So she's now more present, more, and when we talk about belonging in Sangha, is one of our members, she came from being quiet to, she's one of the, when a new member comes, she's the first one to ask them, say, how you doing? And how was the meditation? She's one of the first ones to make sure that whoever comes new feels welcome, feels home. We had another situation where we normally give like an assignment, like a weekly assignment, like do something that, and a particular thing that you do daily, like putting your shoes, brushing your teeth, brushing your hair, and stick with that for the whole week, being present, and see what you notice. And what happened was that the following week, one of the ladies came and she was like, oh, thank you so much. And I was like, what happened? And she was like, I picked as an activity brushing my daughter's hair.
Oh, wow.
And she was like, hey, and what you noticed? She says, I forgot how beautiful my daughter's hair was. I forgot how my daughter's hair felt. And that was just by being present. That's some of the benefits of being together, being present, meditating. This is little big things.
You start to realize that belonging is already here. That it's not something we have to grab from the outside to belong to. But we're already belonging here. It's just a matter of unpacking all of the baggage that we've been absorbing since childhood and coming up in our cultures, right? It's just the ability to kind of take that off and see what's really here, what's beautiful. And that then becomes interrelational, like the woman with her daughter's hair. You know, what could have been more beautiful than that connection in that moment. That then brings us to our inner belonging, our Buddha nature, right? Who we really are when all the views and the judgments are stripped off.
Yes. Growing up, I didn't even know that I wanted to belong. I always felt less than. I felt rejected. I would be just like the people that I hang out with. If my friends were good in school, then I'd be good in school. If my friend was street, then I would be like a street. And I didn't even know that I was acting like that because I wanted to be part of. So everyone wants to belong. It's within us. But
I think you told me something once about, I don't know where you read this, or something about loving you for who you are.
oh yes, we love you for who you are, not in spite who you are.
That's some realization to come to, because it's always about, and I think, yes, as an immigrant, that's one thing, I can really relate to that. I grew up here, but my parents are from another country. We spoke another language growing up. I knew I was different the minute I met the outside world. And all I wanted to do was belong and not be different. And there were so many things that I did as a child and as a teenager in service of belonging, not being true to who I was because I didn't know what that was. All I knew was that I wanted to fit in, and that was a deep longing for me, and it was painful until I realized that that stuff is not out there, it's really deeply in here. So we have some friends playing in the hallway, and it's just great.
These little
And
kids are
that's
so
part of it.
loving, yeah. And when I got here from Puerto Rico, yo no hablaba inglés. I didn't speak any English.
Solamente español.
Solamente español.
No
comprendía nada de inglés. A veces tenía 200 o 300 pesos en el bolsillo y pasaba hambre porque no sabía cómo ordenar comida. So sometimes I would have $200-300 in my pocket, and I was still being hungry because I couldn't order food because I didn't speak the language. So we're talking about belonging, and it's the beautiful part was I bumped into people asking directions, and I didn't speak any English, so I would ask like, hola, mira, ¿cómo yo llego a la 7ª y 8ª? Y me decían, 3 flights? Make a right.
They tried. Right?
They tried.
Yeah, they tried.
So it was good. It was good people.
And so that is something we're offering here, and we're growing into it, as individuals and as community. We're still growing into all of this. When we can strip that off and do this authentically, it's deep. It's really deep, and it's powerful. We learn to pay attention. We learn to pay attention mindfully to what's happening here, what's happening here, what's happening here.
Yes.
Right? And in our environment. And life becomes so the richer for it. When we start to see with our hearts.
Yes. My mentor always said, can we see hearts, not faces? I love that saying.
Oh my goodness. That reminds me of the story that Dan Siegel told about traveling in Namibia with his wife, and they were going to meet some tribes people who they were going to have some conversation with and learn about and whatever. And these people apparently are as closely related as we can determine scientifically to the first people on the planet. And the situation in the environment was one of famine, of drought, of disease, but the people seemed so happy. And so he pondered on this, and he said, I need to ask about this. And so the response he got was, Our people are happy because they belong. They belong to one another, and they belong to the earth. You know, I get chills when I think about that.
Yeah.
How long does it take us to know that we belong just as we are?
Just as we are. We're here.
Yeah, our doors are open.
Our doors are open. We're waiting.
Thank you, all of you. See you soon.